Hi everyone, welcome to my new video. So today I'm going to speak about talk to you about SQL. You all know about SQL, right? So SQL is structured query language, or it's a universal programming language. Maybe we can tell like that. So yeah, SQL is very hot in market and it's widely used. It's a very important programming language or query language in current IT market or industries maybe. So I'm going to start some sessions or some discussions on SQL topics, how you can learn SQL, how you can excel in you can prove your excellence in SQL. So SQL is comparing to other programming languages like C, C++, Java, or Python maybe. SQL is pretty much simple and straightforward, and we can do a lot of things using SQL, mainly the or mostly the data operations, data related operations. Yeah. So as the name suggests, it is a query language. We can query the database and retrieve the data, manipulate the data, or yeah, all kind of data operations we can do using SQL. Let me just explain you some basic context of SQL. Like, there are different commands in SQL, like DDL commands and DML commands. Mainly DDL and DML. There are a lot of others too, like TCL, etc. So while coming to DDL and DML, DDL is basically data definition language and DML is data manipulation language. As the name suggests, data definition language is basically used to, like, kind of it's the commands are create, drop, and alter. And data manipulation language includes select, insert, update, insert, and update, and maybe truncate too. But yeah, let's focus on these six things today and see how we can do all these things. So, like, we are now going to see the structured or what say structured tables or structured databases where we use kind of relational RDBMS, maybe relational database management system, where we deals with a lot of tables and databases to store and manage the data. So this create statement is basically used to create a table which with different columns or properties or attributes maybe. And drop is basically, or drop is the just opposite of create, like, which is to delete a table from the database table or database, or delete some things, some entity from the, or some table or database from the environment. And alter table or alter command is used to alter the already defined table and make some changes, like we need to add a new column, or we need to change the data type, or we need to change the size, or there are constraints which we will talk later. Like, constraints means some unique properties which we will be giving to some columns in the table, like not null, which is to ensure the column should not have any null values. Primary key constraint, which is to ensure that the particular column is a key field, that is, there should not be any duplicates or redundant values. So let's start with the create statement. Then create statement, uh, we can start like this. Let's take a new query window. So create statement, we can create table. This is a format of create statement. This is to create a table. So we can start with create table, then we need to give the table name. Let's say first table, my table, or first table, whatever it is, table. And inside, then we need to open these braces, and inside that we need to give the columns which we have, maybe id, end, as I say, it should be a primary key, so the values should not be repeating. Okay, we'll talk about the primary key and other key constraints later, or maybe we can, to avoid confusion, I'm just removing it now. So id int name varchar is the data type which we used for. So there are different data types. Each column should have a data type associated with it, so it should store the data of that type. So id field will be going to save some numbers 1 2 3 4 5, or this type of numbers. So we can use int or integer. Integer is a data type which were used to store numeric values. So whereas varchar or varchar is used to store string or character values, where we can store strings or sentences or name or address or whatever it is. So we can give some size also, maybe 30, and age, it should be a number, so we can give int. And maybe what else? Let's start with this. So we have this table, create table, my table, id int name varchar and age int. So we're going to create this table. See, the table is created. So then we go to the other query we discussed, DML, like DML. These three are DDML and these three are DDL. Okay, select is nothing but selecting a particular record in a table, or selecting some data from a table out. So select star. Star means it will select all the columns from my table. This is a simple select statement to retrieve all the records from a particular table. Select star from my table. Yeah, since there is no records, it will it will return 0 records or nothing, just the column names in the table. So now we are going to use the second operation, like insert. Insert is the second DML command which we are going to discuss today. Like, this is to insert some certain values to a table. Insert into, this is the syntax, insert, then into word, into the my table, the table name. And inside this we can mention the column names if necessary. Otherwise we should give values for all the column names. Suppose if we are going to give only id and name, we can mention like this, or maybe we can give all the three first and go for the other option. id, name and age, then we need to mention values. Coming up are the values for the certain record. So id may be 1, name may be XYZ, and age something like that, 25. It's fine. Okay, I'm going to insert this record into my table. So one row affected. So next I'm going to insert just id and name without a age value. For that I can just ABC and insert this. Okay, got it? Okay, so now we can again go to select and see what comes. We are getting 2 records. So the second record you could see a null value here, A for age, right? For age it's a null. To handle this, like whenever there are some values are missing, so or the user is going to insert, or the developer is going to insert only for a specific number of columns or selected columns, other columns will be null. To handle this we can use default constraint. Default constraint is for giving default values, like maybe we can mention none. It's age, right? Age, we cannot give string, so we can give 0. Okay, so we need to recreate this table. So what we can do, or maybe why should we go with this, we can check for alter commands. Okay, we need to alter the age column with the and add the default constraint, default with some values. Okay, so here comes the alter command, alter table name, then alter table name, alter table name. Then we need to add what is the constraint name, default with 0, right? 0 default 0 for what's the column name, age. So alter table, my table default 0 for age. Okay, now we are trying to insert one again records 3 A B C D E F. So what will happen now? Now see, there's a 0 for this age when the user does not mention the certain column name. So we have 3 records. Even without these, we can insert without specifying anything. When the user trying to insert something, let's say 4 and DFG, check this, we'll get this error, like there are only two values are given, but without mentioning the field names, without mentioning the column names in here, when we are not giving correct number of values, it will throw this error. That's why initially I told it's always better to give that column names when we insert some records. So here when we include some named age, right, 30, and see what happens, this will get inserted, so we can get those records. Like we are having 4 records now. So instead of star, what we can do is we can mention the column names also, ID and name. If we just need the ID and name of from this table, we can use this and select it. If you need only IDs or distinct ID, now I'm telling about distinct keyword. Distinct means only the distinct values, only the unique values from a column. If we need distinct IDs, we'll get this 134, because 1 is repeated for both A, B, C and X, Y, Z, right? So this will return only these 3 values, since we have one repeated value. Okay, so that's an error, right? Let's see, let's start from table. If it's a student database or student table and 2 students should not have a same ID, right? These mistakes might happen. So at that time we need to, while creating such tables, we need to mention primary key for the table field for the particular ID field. Primary key will ensure that there is no duplication happens whenever whenever someone try to insert a new record with the same ID, it will throw an error like it's a duplicate record or duplicate values coming. It's a violation of primary key constraint. So that record will not be get inserted. So it will ensure the integrity of this table, so data will not be redundant. And we update. So already we talked about create, alter, select and insert. Next is update. So we need to update the ID for the ABC. Since we have ID came twice, we need to update the ID for the ABC name, right? We can now see update table name, set ID equal to 132 is not there, so to where is, let me just give it, name is equal to ABC. So where clause is basically to filter some records. Like here it will filter for the name. Wherever the name is ABC, it will filter only those records, and only those records will be affected. Now we can see We can use the where in insert select as well. So where we can say where age is null. Age is null. So is null is new to you, right? Is null is nothing but whenever there is a null in a field, we can retrieve that field using this clause or this statement. Like age is null means age wherever the age is null, age equal to null. Okay, or age equal to 30. Or if we just need the name of the person whose age is 30, we can just give it like this. This is just an overview or just an overall overview about basic DDL and DML statement. There are many more or few more, not many, I would say, but still there are more you can think about. And the last one we are going to discuss about is drop. As I mentioned in the beginning, drop is nothing but to delete a table from the database or delete something from the database or table of database completely. We use drop. So drop table, the table name. What is the table name? My table. So we are going to draw this. The drop is completed. Now try to select from table invalid object name my table. So now the main table my table is not there. Okay, this is all about today's. That's all from now. Let me know if you have any questions. Feel free to call me, message me, or email me. Always welcome. And just write to me about any feedbacks or if you have any comments or any improvements. You can just let me know. This just a starting. Just encourage me. Subscribe my channel. Thank you. Thank you all. See you in the next video.